But Dr. Amanda Landis Hanna joins me. She is the senior manager at PetSmart Charities right now in the veterinarian outreach program, and I got to know her when she was involved in Voyce, which is that technology caller, which I still lament my voice. I lament my voice. I see it every so often in the drawer, and I lament the loss of this. I think it's one of those technologies that was here long before its time. I think that the quality of the readings were phenomenal, and I can't wait till some format of it comes back. How do you feel about that?
Actually, that's in the works, so I'm happy to give you an inside scoop on that.
But that's great. But now you've moved not only positions in companies, but you've also physically moved. Well, actually, you're in Phoenix right now, right?
Correct. So the last couple of months since we had our last conversation, which thanks again for having me on, but since our last conversation, massive transitions. So currently I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm with PetSmart Charities, which is a 501c3. So I've gone from a startup organization creating a unique biometric technology to now doing veterinary outreach with the leading supporter of animal welfare causes in the United States. So pretty massive transitions as far as roles, as far as what I'm doing, but there is some unifying themes, number one of which is my personal passion for animals. So when I was with Voyce, I spent all of my time developing technology and developing ways for pet parents and veterinarians to better communicate, better understand their pets, and integrate that knowledge together so that we're providing the best medicine possible for those patients. And while I'm no longer working in the technology realm specifically, that same passion, that same human-animal bond, that same motivation of trying to make sure that veterinarians have every tool in their toolbox to be able to go out and interact with pet parents, whether they're a new adopter or whether it's somebody that has been with their pet for a long time and unfortunately may have gone through some financial circumstances, and we're trying to help them prevent their pet from having to go back into a shelter. So that same underlying passion, that same relationship between humans and animals is there. It's just taking multiple different forms in multiple different locations.
That's a very succinct way of putting it. And so what's the weather like there right now? We're having a high of 80 here.
Yeah, I kind of hate you for saying that on camera, so thanks. Right now, we're actually about to come into what Phoenix considers a heat wave, which is going to be in 115, 120 degrees.
Oh, man.
But as everyone likes to say, it's a dry heat. It doesn't remove the fact that it's still 120 degrees. And I'm taking full advantage of the fact that I am very lucky to be in Phoenix with my family, with my pets, with air conditioning. So here locally, I'm doing a lot of representation about appropriate things to do to prevent heat stress. So if you want 2 minutes of that, I can certainly bang that out for you.
Absolutely.
Too.
I think it's a prime opportunity. I just saw I think it was AV May posting about heat stress in the car, and I think the social media. I think we as a profession in social media have done a great job about talking about heat stroke and heat stress.
Yes.
I think what we're doing now is we're starting to narrow down that on those days where, like, not to rub it in, but how high it's getting here in Jersey. you can still have overheating situations in a car setting.
Absolutely.
But what are the main things in Phoenix? So we're talking about a dry, but it's still 115 degrees. 115. That's the burning temperature on the cement, that you walk on. That's very, very hot.
And if it's able to burn you, think about what it's doing to cat foot pads, dog foot pads, to wildlife. So this is a very dangerous type of heat. Even though it's a dry heat, it is still a very dangerous heat just because those levels can be so high. But even if you're not in Phoenix with 115 degree heat, if you're in New Jersey with 80 degree heat but 100% humidity, you can still have a lot of illness due to heat stress, heat stroke, and those, unfortunately, if they're left untreated, can lead to death. certainly for a lot of us, some of the things that we really worry about are situations such as cars. A dog accidentally gets trapped in a car, a cat accidentally gets trapped under a hood. And certainly you and I have both treated those situations, even when the outside temperature is in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Now, one of the things that we're also becoming very cognizant of, I think, in the veterinary community is that it doesn't require that high of heat. So we're actually seeing a lot more interaction on social media between things like car and vehicle makers and the veterinary community, trying to not only get the word out there, but trying to help support the community as a whole. Again, for me, it's very much about that human-animal bond. Temperatures that are too dangerous for an infant or a child are also too dangerous usually for an adult, a dog, a cat, wildlife to be in for an extended period of time. So appropriate hydration is very important. It's also very important to keep in mind how animals have a tendency to lose heat. So they will have evaporative cooling from their tongue, from their foot pads. In situations where you have high humidity, that evaporative cooling is less efficient. While it may be efficient here in the very desert Southwest, it's also very easy for dehydration to occur just because so much of that bodily fluid is getting evaporated or being absorbed. And so it doesn't take a very long period of time before the organs start to undergo stress. And from stress, if it goes untreated, it can rapidly progress to heat stroke and death.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. And so do you guys have water shortages there and so forth? Is it tough to get?
So it can be tough to get water. Certainly, you know me, I'm like the world's biggest advocate. I am a parent in all things. I parent animals, I parent kids, I parent other grown adults. I'm the person around here that pushes fluids on everybody. I'm like, are you drinking enough? And they're saying, hey, we're sitting in the office with you for the last 30 minutes. We're okay right this minute. But there can be water shortages. At the same time, I'm learning so much about the weather and the territory and the environment in this particular area. So there's also monsoons during the summer. So, you'll go from being in this, very drought-like situation to having monsoons, to having, I just learned this word yesterday, haboobs, which are dust storms. So they're literally like tidal waves, but of dust.
Oh, my God. I was going to say bless you when you said that.
I know. So it's very interesting to me, and it's something that for myself, having moved now from the Southeast to San Diego County to the greater Washington, D.C. area, now to the desert Southwest, the environment has such a dramatic role and such a dramatic impact on animal health, not only for wildlife, but also for livestock, also for companion animals. And so here at PetSmart Charities, at our home base, we actually have a dog park on site. And I've been lucky enough to not only be able to go out and play with the dogs, but also to be able to help educate some of my teammates about what appropriate hydration in the summer is going to look like, what is appropriate hydration in the winter months when it's only 80 degrees and dry here. What is that going to look like? It's a very different appearance than, say, for instance, what it was when I was in Fairfax, Virginia, in the greater Washington, D.C. area.
All right, so are you allowed to bring your pet to work? Because I know you're so used to that when you worked at Voyce, right? Your pet was always with you, right?
Yep. My pets are very much allowed to come to work.
Awesome.
And I'm very lucky to be at the Phoenix office here at the PetSmart and PetSmart Charities, two different companies, at the PetSmart Charities home base. And yes, pets are welcome. In fact, I'm sitting in my office right now. So if I look away, I guarantee it's for either a dog or a cat or some other animal going down the hallway.
That's awesome.
Here in the offices, we have reptiles, we have snakes, we have lizards, we have turtles, we have fish, we have cats that come into the office. And we have a huge array of dogs, everything from teeny weeny pocket purse dogs to great big huge. There's this gorgeous Newfoundland on campus that I love to go and make out with because I get the full face slobber, which is
Well, you know what, Amanda? I'll drink to that.
And thanks for watching. If you like what you see, press the button to subscribe.